Ever since the earliest days of Rust, all kinds of explosives have been essential to the eviction process of your neighbors. So you might be wondering, what's the best way to get them? Well, you've come to the right place to find out. Welcome to the Rust Beginner's Guide, where today I'll be telling you how to get explosives fast in Rust. Just like in my video about how to get guns fast, before we start I'll tell you real quick how I got these numbers. First of all, I calculated the chance of any kinds of explosives dropping using Rust Lab's drop chances. Next, I counted up the amount of crates at every monument and major event. And finally, I multiplied these two numbers together to get the drop chances. Before we start, I'll also tell you what I considered as explosives for the sake of this video. Bean can grenades, satchel charges, rocket launchers, regular and high velocity rockets, explosives, timed explosive charges, and explosive 5.56 ammo. First of all, let's talk about finding explosives inside monuments with no puzzles. The worst monuments of this category are the abandoned supermarket, Oxum's gas station, and the mining outpost, with each of them having a 4% chance of dropping explosives. Next up is the lighthouse, which has a 6% chance of dropping explosives. Coming up next is the dome, which has a 12% chance of dropping explosives. Next up is the junkyard, which has a 14% chance of dropping explosives. And finally, the best monument in this category is the excavator, which has a 22% chance of dropping explosives, but it is protected by scientists. Now that we've covered that, let's move on to getting explosives from monuments with green keycard puzzles. The worst monument of this category is the satellite dish, which only has a 10% chance of dropping explosives. Next up is the harbor, which has a 16% chance of dropping them. And the best monument in this category is the sewer branch, which has a 20% chance of dropping explosives. Now let's move on to monuments with blue keycard puzzles. The worst of these monuments is the power plant, which has a 24% chance of dropping explosives. Coming up next are the airfield and the train yard, with both of them having a 26% chance of dropping explosives. And in the first place of this category is the water treatment plant, with it having a massive 42% chance of dropping explosives. Now let's move on to the last category of monuments that have red keycard puzzles. The worst monument of this category is the small oil rig, with it having an 80% chance of dropping explosives. Next up is the military tunnel, which has a 94% chance of dropping explosives. And the best monuments for this category are the launch site and the large oil rig, with both of them guaranteeing you at least one type of explosive. If you also take down the Bradley APC at the launch site, you can get up to 2 to 3 explosives from one run. Now that we've talked about monuments, let's talk about special events that occur on the island from time to time. The worst event is the supply drop, which only has a 32% chance of dropping explosives. Up next is the Chinook drop, with a 51% chance of dropping explosives. And the two best events are the cargo ship and the patrol helicopter, with both of them guaranteeing you at least one explosive. You can also get explosives while farming scrap on the road. Each supply crate has a 1% chance of dropping either a bean can grenade or satchel charge, and each toolbox has a 0.1% chance of dropping explosive 5.56 ammo. So to sum up this video, there are tons of ways you can get explosives, and you should choose the one that suits you the most with your playstyle. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe to help me on my journey to 1,000 subscribers. Also, I'd like to thank Gucciberg for being my patron. If you really enjoy my content and would like me to shout you out at the end of my videos, consider becoming one of my patrons on patreon.com/TheMeemishGamer. I'd also like to thank you guys for 950 subs. Also, if you have any questions, then you can join my Discord server and ask me.